Solution number 1. To find AB or find the value of line AB. AB has x centimeters. So to solve this triangle, discover that two sides are given and an included angle. The angle given or the included angle is between the two sides that are given. So for us to be able to get this third side, we are going to use the cosine rule because this fulfills the cosine rule. So we say by the cosine rule on x squared is equal to 3 squared plus 2 squared minus 3 times 2 times cos 80 times cos 80 degrees. 3 squared is 9, 2 is 4, minus 3 times 2 is 6, 6 cos 80 degrees. 9 plus 4 is 13, 13 plus, so I'm going to use my calculator here, 6 cos 80 degrees, 1.04, 1.04, 1.04, 19. So 13 plus this will give us 14.0419. Now square, take square of both sides, which is x squared equal to 14.0419. So this will cancel this, x equals to 14.0419 and x equals to 14.0419, 3.74, 3.7472, x approximately 3.74 to 3SF, so 3.75 to 3 significant figures. Therefore line AB, which is equal to x, is equal to 3.75 centimeters. If you approximate to the nearest one significant figure or whole number, and its AB is 4 centimeters. Let's see, let's find y in the diagram below. So the angle given to us, 102 degrees, is between the two given sides. So this warrants the use of the cosine rule. So we're going to say by the cosine rule, y squared is equal to 5 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 5 times 3 times cos 102 cos 102 degrees. So this will give us y squared plus 25 plus 9 minus 2 times 5 times 5, 10 times 3, 30 cos 102 degrees. If we just go by, cos 102 degrees, we punch our calculator, we're going to have a negative value, and that's because this angle is in the second quadrant and cos is negative in the second quadrant. Or if you don't want to do that, in that case, if we get the value of cos 102 degrees, is what I mean, 2, so yeah, 30 cos 102 degrees. Let me punch to my calculator. 30 cos 102, that's 0. 30 cos 102 minus 6, and 6.237.4. So minus 2, I like have a minus sign here. So if you enclose this and put brackets here, minus sign minus will give us plus. Our final sign here. Here this sign will change to plus, and then we put this value here without a negative sign. But if you don't want to do it this way, you can simply, so from here we can say 30 cos. We'll convert this angle to the acute equivalent of 102 degrees, equivalent of this in acute angle. So 102 degrees is still the same thing as cos 180 degrees, and let's say 180 degrees minus 102 degrees. 180 minus 102 will give us 78 degrees. So this will give us 30 minus 30 cos 78 degrees. So in that way, we still have the negative sign here. So minus 30 will multiply this minus sign here to give us plus. Here will be plus. So it still gives us the same figure. So I'm just showing you the two possible ways you can go about this particular solution. Anytime the angle is obtuse, you could just go right away and you get a negative value here multiplied by this negative sign, you get plus, or you try to get the acute angle of the obtuse by removing this from 180, and then I will now give you, since it's going to be positive, then cos 78 degrees, but because the angle initially was 102, you're going to add a minus sign in front of it. The minus times this minus will give us plus. So here would be 25 plus 29. 25 plus 9 will give us 34. Yes, 34. Then so plus, because of this angle, so 30 cos 102 will give us, okay, let me just put it here so that you understand. So this is what we had before. This is the sign that was here from the cosine rule. Now 30 cos 102 degrees from the calculator, 30 cos 102 is minus 6 points. So since it's negative, I'm going to close it in bracket, minus 6.2374 minus 6.2374. So minus times minus will give us plus 34 plus 6.2374. 34, that gives us 40.2374. And remember, this is y squared. For us to be able to get this value, we need to take square root of both sides. To take square root of both sides. Take square root of both sides. This will give us y squared here. This will give us 40.2374. So this will cancel this, y equals square root of 40.2374 equals to 6 points. 6.3433. So y is equal to 6.34 to 3 significant figures, and y is approximately 6.34 centimeters. If you are approximating to the nearest whole number or to one significant figure, y will be 6 centimeters. Here is something you need to observe or take note of. So notice that in example 1, which is this example, x squared is less than 2 squared plus 3 squared. That is the third side, the square of the third side is less than the sum of the squares of the other two sides. And in example 2, the square of the third side, y squared, which we looked for, is greater than the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So what does this imply? This implies the following. 1, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared when c is opposite a right angle, which in this case diagrammatically c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. This tells us that anytime a triangle is a right angle triangle, we don't use the cosine rule to look for any of the sides. Rather, we simply use Pythagoras theorem to look for the side. However, anytime c squared is equal, c squared is always equal to the sum of the square of the hypotenuse, rather, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides when it's a right angle. But if it's not a right angle, there are two other variations or two other possibilities that we can have. And that takes us to the next thing that we need to note, and that is the sum of the square, which is c squared. Remember figure 2, c squared is less than the sum of the squares of the other two sides, a squared and a squared plus b squared, when it is an acute angle. In this case, the angle here is an acute angle. So once the angle is an acute angle, this part, the sum of the square here is less than the sum of the squares of these two sides, which means the sum of the squares of these two given sides is greater than the square of the third side. But if the angle given is an obtuse angle, then the square of the third side is greater than the sum of the squares of the other two given sides combined together, which we find in this case. So in example 2, we discover that y squared is equal to 40.237, or itself, or y squared is 40.2374. That is y squared. If not that we looked for the y squared is equal to 40.2374, but the combined sum of the squares of the other two sides is 25 plus 9, which is equal to 34, and 40 is greater than 34. You will see that, and that was possible because the angle between the two sides was an obtuse angle, compared to this first one where x squared alone was 14.0419, and then the other two sides, 3 and 2, they are squared. 3 squared plus 2 squared was 9 plus 4, which gives us 13. And you can discover that 13 the x squared here, x squared should be less than, from our rule, c squared. Since an acute angle, c squared, which is the third side, should be less than the sum of the squares of the other two sides. 9 plus 4 is 13. So x squared is 14 greater. Let me see. Something is wrong here. 3 squared plus 2 squared minus 3 times 2. I think I made a mistake. So 2 times cosine rule. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2, 12. So here's will be 12 cos 80 degrees. So in that case, so this will be 12 cos 18 degrees. So this answer will be different. Yes, I'm sorry about that. 12 cos 80, 2.0838. 2.0838. And of course, it's supposed to be minus. Why did I even put plus? Here's minus. So here's 13. 13 minus 2 points. 13 minus 2.008. That's 10.91. 10.9162. 10.9162. 10.9162. Here will be 10.9162. And here will be 3 points. So square root 10.9162. 3.30. 3.3040. Okay, so this will be 3 points, approximately 3.30 to 3 significant figures. So AB is 3.30 centimeters. Okay, so pardon me for the omission I did at this point at the beginning. So that brings me back. So thank God for this rule that helped me to realize the mistake early. So if it's acute angle, what you will observe is that c squared, the square of the third side, is always less than the sum of the squares of the other two sides, which in this case you can see that 9 plus 4, which is 3 squared plus 2 squared, which gives us 9 plus 4, which gives us 13, is greater than the x squared. X squared in this case is 10.9162. 13 is greater than 10.9162. That's because it's an acute angle. But if it's an obtuse angle, it's the reverse. Y squared is y squared here is 40.2374, and that's because 40.2374 is greater than 5 squared plus 3 squared, which is 34. So that's for the obtuse. But if it is a right angle triangle, c squared will be equal to a squared plus b squared. So that's what you need to take note of. Solution 8. Let's look for line AC. Calculate AC. AC is side of the triangle. So it fulfills the cosine rule. So we're going to say by the cosine rule. And cosine rule. So if I look for b squared is equal to a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cos b. So let's put the values into the formula. B squared, a squared 7.92 squared plus c squared is 8.44 squared times minus 2 times 7.92 times 8.44 times cos 151.0 degrees. B squared is equal to square of 7.92 62. We round up, I'm going to approximate to 2 decimal places, 2.73 plus 8.44 squared. So it's 1.23 minus 2 times 7.92. I'm going to multiply only these two parts because I want to use logarithm to evaluate here. But you can see its calculator to get the value right away. 2 times 7.92, 15.84 times 8.44 times cos. This cos, I'm going to, this 151.2 indicates that it's obtuse, and cos is in the second quadrant. ACTS is quadrant where it's between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So to get the acute angle, I'm going to remove 151 from 180 degrees. But cos in the second quadrant is negative, so I'm going to say cos 151.3 degrees is equal to minus cos. So even though we are getting acute angle, we must indicate that it's still going to be negative because cos originally, which was in second quadrant, is negative. This will give us minus cos 180 degrees minus 151.2 degrees. What is it going to give us? 180 minus 151.3, 28.7 degrees. So it will give us minus cos 28.7 degrees. Remember, everything is multiplication. So minus times minus will give us plus. So we can say this will give us, so we change the sign here to plus cos 28.7 degrees. So from this point you can punch your calculator and get the answers, but let me evaluate this multiplication side with the use of logarithm tables. So I'm going to say number logarithm. So I have 15.84, 8.44 in cos 28.7 degrees. Let me get my 4-figure table. So use our log table, So we get our characteristic. Our characteristic here is 1, and then we use so usually when you use a log table, figures must always be 4 figures. They could be less than 4 figures, but not more than 4 figures. So you get a characteristic, and then you pick the first two, and then you look for 15 under 8. 8 is in your 4-figure table. You're going to have under logarithm. You're going to have a section from 0 to 9. So under that section, you look for 15 under 8 in that section. Then there's a part at the right hand side, which is known as the difference column. So that's where you're going to get 4. So 15 under 8 difference 4. So 15 under 8. 15 under 8. 15 under 8 will give me 1987. 1987 difference 4. 15 under 8. 1987 difference 4 is 11. So I'm going to you add difference to the value you get from 15 under 8. So this will give me 899. 1998. 1998. So the next is to look for first of all determine the characteristic, which is 0.84 under 4. 84 under 4. 84 under 4 will give you 9263. 0.9263. So for this, we don't have the fourth figure, so we don't have the difference because it's just 3 figures. And this part here, we're going to use logarithm of cosines to get this value. Logarithm of cosines to get this value. So let's turn to logarithm of cosines. So under logarithm of cosines, you're going to have 28.7. So you're going to look for 28 under 7. 28 degrees under 7. 28 under 7 gives us bar 9431. Bar 1.9431. So since what we have is multiplication, we're going to add from the laws of logarithm. And in case you really want to get familiar with logarithm, or you have not taken a class on logarithm, you can check the playlist on logarithm or watch the videos to get acquainted with it. So let's do our addition. 8 plus 3, 11. 11 plus 1, 12. 9 plus 6, 15, plus 3, 18, plus 1, 19, 1. 9 plus 2, 11, plus 4, 15, plus 1, 6, 1 over 1 plus 9, 10, 10 plus 9, 19 plus 1, 20, that's carry 2. Okay, so what we have here is 1 plus 0. This bar 1 here is plus minus 1, and plus the 2 that we carried over. So minus 1 times plus will give us minus. So 0 minus 1 is minus 1. 1 minus 1 plus 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. Here is 2. So for antilog, usually in the x column of your antilog table, you have 0.00 points. If it's 0.2, 4, or whatever. So, and then you have your 1, 2, 3, down to 9. And then you have your difference column. And the other difference will have 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 9 as well. Okay, so what you're going to do for antilog, you are not going to be concerned with this part yet. Your focus is this part first. So you pick the first 2 digits, and then say it's a 6. Since it's 06, you just say 606 under 9 difference 2. So let's check 06 under 9 antilog. 06 under 9. Under 9 will give us 1172. 1172 difference 2. 1172 difference 2 is 1. So you add it up, that is just 711. So there's this 2 tells us how many times we are going to move our decimal point. If it's 2, you add 1 to it, so you move your decimal point 3 places forward. So from here, 1, 2, 3. So our final answer is 111 points. 117.3. So this answer, we bring it here. And like I said earlier, you can use your calculator instead of using logarithm table to evaluate this, just as an alternative. So b squared equals to 62.73 plus 71.23, 133.96, 133.96 plus, we carried out this here, so 117.3, 117.3. So let's add up. So b squared is equal to 133.96 plus 117.3. That will give us 251.26. 251.26. We take square root of both sides. This will give us b squared equals to square root 251.26. So this will cancel this. B is equal to square root 251.26. B is equal to 15.851. So b is equal to 15.852. So 2SF. So b is approximately 15.85 meters. In the diagram below, ABC is a triangle with A equal to 65 degrees, B 5.8 cm, and C 7.4 cm. Find A correct to two significant figures. Included angles between the two given sides, so it fulfills the cosine rule. And say by the cosine rule, since we're looking for A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC. So BC cos E. So A squared is equal to D squared is 5.8 squared plus C squared 7.4 minus 2 times B 5.8 times C 7.4 times cos 65 degrees. So this will give us 33.64, 7.4, 84.76 minus. I use a log table to evaluate this part that I did in the last example, but I'm going to use calculator here 2 times 5.8 times 7.4 times cos 65, 36.28, 36.28, approximated to 2 decimal place. So add these two patterns, subtract this from the result of this addition. 0.64 plus 54.76, 88.4 minus 36.28, 88.4 minus 36.8. Let me do it again. 3.64 plus 54.76, 80.4 minus 36.28, 52.2.12. So A is equal to square root of 52.12. A is equal to 7.2 1.219 times A is equal to, we're told to find A correct to two significant figures, 7.222, two significant figures. Therefore, A is equal to 7.22 centimeters. And two significant figures, 7.2 centimeters. Number 2, PQR is an obtuse angled triangle with R equals to 105 degrees, 45 minutes. D is equal to 10.5 cm, Q is 8.5 cm. Find R. So from what we are seeing here, this is a cosine rule condition. So using the cosine rule, R squared is equal to P squared plus Q squared minus 2PQ plus R. So R squared is equal to P squared 10.5 squared plus Q squared 8.5 squared minus 2 times 10.5 times 8.5 times cos 105 cos 105. Now here we have 105 degrees of 45 minutes. So let's convert these 45 minutes to degrees and add so these degrees. We already know that 60 minutes is equal to 1 degree. And now we have 45 minutes. So 60 minutes gives us 1 minute, 45 minutes equal to x degrees. So we cross multiply, because we're looking for the value of x. 60x is equal to 45 and x equal to 45 over 60. That will give us what? 45 divided by 60. 0.75. So if we add 105 plus 0.75, we need to have 105.75 degrees. So this will give us cos 105.75 degrees. And that is in the second quadrant, so we can get the equivalent of that in the first quadrant. So this will give us, therefore, let's simplify this by 10.5 squared 110.25 plus 8.5 squared 72.25 minus, since this one is the second quadrant, and by the time we get the value of this directly or either in the second quadrant, we're going to have minus. Okay, we are going to get in the second quadrant, first quadrant. So 2 times 10.5, 2 times 10.5 times 8.5, that will give us 178.5. So cos 105.75 degrees. Since it's this one is in the second quadrant and it's negative, this equivalent in the first quadrant will be minus cos 180 degrees minus 105.75 degrees, which equals to minus cos 180 minus 105.75. 105.75, 74.25. So that will give us times minus cos 74.25 degrees. Okay, so here minus times minus will give us turn it to plus. So okay, that's it. So this will give us 110.25. 110.25 plus 72.25, 182. So here minus and minus give us plus. So 178.5 times cos 178.5 cos 74.25, 48 48.45. So when we add all of everything together, 48.45, or rather 182.5 plus 48.45, that will give me 230.95. So I'll take square root of both sides, cancel, will be square root of 230.95, and this will give me, so r is equal to square root of 230.95, and r is equal to square root 230.95, 15.197. So this one did not give us condition like here correct to two significant figures, but I'm going to leave my answer to two decimal places. So r is equal to 15.202, two decimal places, and then therefore r is equal to 15.20 centimeters.